And once again, it is time for the Jefferson College Sports Report on 1400 KJFF Radio as we broadcast live from the field house. And happy to be joined by the assistant coach of the women's basketball program, Miss Anna Emmerich. How are you?
Good, Ryan. Thanks. How are you?
Doing very well.
Good.
You guys had another outstanding weekend, a big road victory against Moberly. Tell us a little bit about how that one went down. It was kind of tight there pretty much the entire way.
It was. I think both teams started off a little sluggish. I think we did. It was our first road trip in quite a while. We were at home for almost the entire month of January, so I think it was just getting us back into our routine of being on the road. And as I said, both teams started out sluggish, but we came out in the second half and changed up a few things, and I think we outlasted them just through our conditioning. I think our team outlasted them running up and down the floor and just beating them to the hoop. So.
You were down 5 at the half in the ball game. What'd you do in the second half to adjust and do better at?
We slowed our pace of our half-court offense down a little bit, tried to set up a few more offenses that way. But if the ball came off the rim and we got the board, we tried to run it on them. They were down to, I think it was 8 kids is all. So we knew we could wear them out. Our guards especially did a great job. Shatera Kinchin did a wonderful job. She started off really slow in the first half, but came out in the second half and really defended the ball well and got the ball out on the offense and on the break. So.
Well, this improved your record overall to 22-3, and now 13 games won in a row. And it's always nice to smile when you talk about a winning streak. And and sometimes I guess as a teacher of the sport, it's kind of tough to keep them going when you're in a streak like this. You got to constantly harp on them to improve here, and there, and wherever you might need it.
Yeah, it is. It's when you said that 13 games in a row, it's something I haven't thought about in a little while, so that had to bring a smile to my face. But it is. It's hard to keep the kids motivated and not in the right direction so much, but just to keep them on track of what our overall goal is. To be here at the end of the season and give us a good chance to be at Rolla. Right now, we're looking at have a great chance of being 1 or 2 seed going in and hopefully getting that bye into the tournament. So just keeping the kids and reminding them that we're that close, that we can be on track. And I think with our win against Moberly, we gave ourselves a chance to do no worse than tying for the region championship. So we've got 4 road games left, 3 region games. So I think if I'm not mistaken, I think if we get one more, I think we can get the region outright. So as we keep reminding our kids of that, it helps. The season's been long so far. We've got a few small injuries right now, and we're down to 9 kids. So keeping them healthy, keeping them happy, tough job there. But the motivational thing is important, and Kevin has done a wonderful job at that. So.
Yeah, we've talked with Kevin the past couple of weeks about how important it was to win these games at home before you had this big road trip. And it's kind of unusual how the schedule worked out like this, where the majority of your region and conference games were at home, and then the second half of the season, or second half of the region season, all the games were pretty much on the road. But this has given you guys a little bit of a comfort zone between yourselves and the team that's behind you, and I think right now it's Mineral Area.
Correct.
Who's 2 games back.
Right. Yeah, when Kevin and I first got here, we looked at the schedule and we thought it was very odd that we had so many home games in a row. But now that we're done with those home games for now, January's gone. As I was talking to you earlier about, I think it gave us an uplift. We were able to play and maybe get an advantage over the rest of the teams because we were able to get on top. We came out undefeated in the region and in the conference up to this point, and there's some teams out there that are 0-4, 0-5 right now, and we're at the top of that, so now going on the road here the next 4 games, I think we have somewhat of an advantage, and it might be mentally more than anything, just to say that we're there, that we're 6-0, 5-0, and we can look at that and say, okay, if we happen to lose a game, which is a big possibility, it's okay. We're still in really good shape. So we've done really well at home. We've held our home court, and that was our goal. So.
You can, like you said, you can afford to lose a game if that so happens down the stretch. Obviously, you're going to take every game like,
right.
You want to win, and you're going to do your best to try to win each game. But at least knowing that if you happen to fall at Three Rivers or you fall at Crowder this weekend, or if it happens to be at State Fair, you know that it's not the end of the world. You're not
right.
really losing the lead that you have on everyone else.
Right, and the kids know that too. We've talked about that. It was important, with our schedule being at home the month of January, the kids knew and the coaches knew and we tried to emphasize that getting these games at home was the most important. You know, the road games, you have a 50-50 chance really of getting the win. So we've done exceptionally well getting that job done, and now we just have to take care of business on the road. So I think we're sitting in pretty good shape here.
You're going to be taking some time. Well, this week has been kind of laid back a little bit. You played on Saturday. You don't play a Wednesday game this week. You wait until Saturday. So you've been able to kind of get the kids to relax a little bit. And I guess Thursday is when you start hitting it pretty hard again.
Right. We took Sunday off, of course. Yesterday we did some core workout with our strength and conditioning coach, James Sindler. He took them for a little while. We lifted, and then we got the kids in the pool, which gave them a break of the court. Got them out away from the grinding of the court and pounding on the legs, and I think that was good, especially this time of season where we've got a few small injuries, light injuries, but with such a long season, I think it's important, and we do have this stretch, as you mentioned, from Saturday to Saturday before we play again, so it's a nice opportunity for us to be able to do that.
Crowder is a team that played you pretty tough when they came here about, I guess it must have been close to a month ago now.
Right.
And you ended up winning the game by, I guess it must have been about 15 or so.
Right.
And, they're a tough team. They got some big kids, good post presence. Of course, just about every team you play is going to have a little bit of a size advantage, so that's nothing new. But Crowder's got two of them that do get in there together at the same time every once in a while, and that definitely causes some matchup problems.
Yeah, it does. They've got two kids, as you mentioned. I think one's 6'3", one's 6'4", and it's amazing that we've done so well against teams because every team that we've played has a post presence, and Evelina and Aya, 6'2", 6'1", respectively, but to be honest, they'd rather step out and hit the three, and they're great at it. Both of them are great at it. But it's, our perimeter offense and sets like that have done the job for us. And I'm just going to mention that our conditioning, I think, able to run up and down the floor and beating these teams, I think that's what's gotten it done for us. We're able to blow by these teams. So to give credit though to Crowder, they did come back in the second half. They played a little zone on us and tricked us up a little bit, but I think we're going to prepare for that a little bit better this time, and they're young too. They're going to be better next year for sure. So.
Well, I know one of the reasons why you've been able to rebound so well has been really the play of Robin Stone. Robin is very multi-talented. She could play so many different positions, really anywhere from 1 to 4. She could pretty much go there. And not the tallest kid in the world, only about 5'7" or so, but she just really out-hustles people and just great athleticism, and that's enabled her to go in there amongst the trees and get rebounds over them.
Yeah, you're right. Robin's just got a competitiveness to her that you don't see a lot in women's athletics, and she does. She just gets after it day in, day out, and it doesn't bother her to go in and get clobbered by the big kids or whatnot. She'll give it right back. So she's been really nice to have on the floor. She's plagued by a sore ankle right now, so again, we're lucky to have this week break to give her some time off a little bit. She's been doing her hot and cold treatments, and we've given her a little bit of time off here and get her ready for Saturday.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the injury, because it looked like it was kind of scary at first. It happened in the Mineral game last week. I guess it must have been about midway through the second half is when she went down on it, came out, and from the looks of it, from up in the catbird seat, it kind of looked like there was no way she was going to come back. She was being taped up. She just looked like she was in a lot of pain. Yeah. But not only did she get back in the game and contribute, but she got in there against Moberly, and it seemed like, maybe it was holding her back a little bit, but I was kind of surprised she was able to go the whole game against Moberly. That's a tremendous amount of character, obviously, in her, and
it is.
Her ability to come back from things like that.
Yeah, it is. It was a game time decision, and it was a decision that she had to make. We knew she was sore, and we weren't going to push her to get out on the floor. She started the game, and she was sore right away, and we need her out on the floor. She's a team leader, and the kids really follow her well on the floor. I mean, she really gets the offensive going. Shatera runs the offense, but to have Robin out there, to have her presence out on the floor, the kids respect her and rely on her to get the job done. So it was nice to have her back on the floor on Saturday. As you said, when we played Mineral Area, it looked like an injury that might keep her out for a week or two possibly. She came down on a kid's foot and really tweaked it, but it's an ankle, though, in the past that she's had some trouble with. I think she fractured or tore some major ligaments in it. So it's tender, and it's going to be tender probably for a little while. So, but to get her back on the court on Saturday, she's hard-headed. I think she'd be out there if her leg was broke. So it was good to have her out there, and I think that's what helped us in the second half. Kind of slow the pace down as far as getting our offense under attack and get back on track.
Oh, without a doubt, she was one of the sparks of that second half comeback win against Moberly. I think she scored all of her 14 in the second half of that game.
She did.
10 of 12 at the free throw line too, and that's obviously good to see because she's been shooting right around 51% for the whole season. So
yeah.
I'm sure it was good to see her go down there and knock in 10 of 12.
Yeah, it was. In the first half, Robin, we didn't play her a whole lot. We were trying to save her as much as possible. In the first half, though, she was more just to run the show. We weren't really looking for her to attack the board and score a lot for us. But in the second half, we really needed her, and it was a great surprise, number one, to have her shoot 10 of 12 because she hasn't been doing that well. She's been a little over 50, I think. So, again, she's hard-headed, she's a competitor, and I think she'll get the job done whenever she steps out on the floor. So.
Looking at just some of the numbers for the season, individual numbers, Kinchin has been the leading scorer on the team virtually a good chunk of the majority of the games this year. She's been the leading scorer, averaging 18 points per game, which puts her, I believe, in the top 15 in the country right now. And, she's been a special player. And, Candy continues to heat up from three-point land, still at 50% for the season, which is second overall in the country. Plus, she's averaging 16.2 a game, and that's a nice, great combo of guards right there.
You bet. Shatera, I think the roles have kind of gone back and forth a little bit between Candy and CT. Candy was our leading scorer for a long time, and that was due to her three-point shooting. As the season progresses, though, the teams are starting to scout us a little bit, and they know who our shooters are, so they've been face guarding Candy in the past few games, and Candy's been struggling to get open, but she's done well in defending the ball and using the screens and getting her teammates open, which has allowed Shatera to come alive, and CT's been attacking the basket a little bit more. She didn't do that in the first half of the season, so I think her confidence level has really stepped up. So it's been really nice. Like you said, it's a good combo of those two. Candy's an excellent shooter, and CT just knows how to set things up and how to get people open. She delivered the ball really well on Saturday.
And just over the past couple of games is when Robin Stone has gone over the double digits, gone into double digits for a season average of 10.4. So now you have three players averaging in double figures, which any coach loves that kind of balance.
You bet. It's Robin, she's very capable of scoring in double digits every game, but Robin is a very unselfish player. She'll attack the board when she can. She'll go in there and just pound it, but she really, I think her best asset to the team is delivering the ball to her teammates, setting screens and things like that. So to have her come alive here in the second half of the season, like you said, getting the double-digit figures, it has been great.
And you've had some good sparks from some of the other kids too. Ashley Cornett's now at about 9 points per game. She had a career high 16 a couple weeks ago against Wash U. You've been getting good play from Aya off the bench. She comes in, sparks you with a three-pointer, whatever the case may be. Dominique Ivory continues to improve. So, there's a lot more than just those three kids on this team.
You bet. Ashley Cornett, she's been steady all season, I believe. She's had her ups and downs as far as offensive scoring goes, but she's been pretty steady. Her defense continues to improve, but she attacks the basket really well, and we just kind of have to keep reminding her of that because she gets a little shy and tentative, I think, of going to the hole. But we're on her. We're trying to get her going on that a little bit more, and but she's doing a really good job. And as you said, our other kids, Dominique Ivory, her offensive skills are getting better. She's young and she's learning, but this kid can leap out of the gym, and she's been boarding the heck out of the ball, and the confidence on that end has been great for her. So our whole team, like you said, Aya, Evelina, all of our kids have really stepped up and done. They've played their parts in almost all of our games here the second half of the season. So it's good to see down the home stretch, down the back stretch, and this is what it's all about. We're getting into tournament time here in a few weeks and getting really excited. So I hope the kids can keep that in their heads and stay focused on that fact.
Well, you're now number 14 in the country. The new polls will come out tomorrow.
Right.
Hopefully there'll be a jump there because, again, you haven't lost. And it's going to be Crowder coming up Saturday on the road. That'll be another tough one. It's going to be a Saturday evening game, too, which is a little bit unusual. You haven't had too many of those lately.
Right. It's gonna be a long trip. We're leaving early Saturday morning, and we're gonna try to break the trip up and maybe practice at a gym, maybe in Springfield. Maybe for an hour, just get the kids' legs stretched out and shoot a little bit, and then make our way down to Neosho, Missouri. So it's going to be these road trips are going to be a test for us. We're not used to them, and we're trying to get back into the routine. But we're glad it's on a Saturday. The kids can get well rested this week, and I think they'll be fresh for the game. Thanks a lot for the time today. Appreciate it, Anna. Thanks, Ryan. Anna Emmerich, the assistant coach with the Jefferson College women's basketball team, joining us. We have more ahead. We'll be back after this break on 1400 KJFF.
Great education.
Friendly atmosphere.
Beautiful campus.
The convenience and the affordability.
My experience at Jefferson College has been wonderful.
I find the quality of education here at Jefferson College to be one of a kind.
My experience at Jefferson College has been a major plus in my life and one of the best decisions I've made.
Jefferson College would be the place that I would recommend the most.
I'm Katie Williams.
I'm Kevin Higginbotham.
I'm Ann Martinson.
I'm Tony Markovich, and I'm proud I chose to attend Jefferson College.
And we are back on the program on 1400 KJFF, back from the Jefferson College Fieldhouse, and going to talk a little in depth about this year's 2007 women's softball program as Tony Cook is alongside head coach. And how are you doing, sir?
Just fine, thank you.
Must have felt good to get outside today.
It was kind of a surprise, especially after they were just calling for snow, and so.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the exact temperature is, but it's awful nice out there right now.
When I checked last time, it was almost 60.
Wow.
Pretty amazing. Yeah, very amazing. It snowed yesterday, and they were talking about snow today. It didn't happen. And lo and behold, you guys were able to get outside. You and the baseball team, I'm sure, were thrilled to get outside for a little bit.
Yes, we were. And, I noticed they were up there hitting, and that's where, we're out there right now hitting with their assistant coaches, and so try to take advantage of the weather while we can.
Anytime you can get out in February, you got to be pretty happy with it.
Yeah, true, right.
Let's talk a little bit about this year's team. Overall, what's kind of a quick overview about what the strengths are of this team this year?
Our strengths, I think, are our pitching and our leadership in our sophomores this year. We're returning 12 sophomores, and with our pitching and our defense, I think that's what's going to it's going to carry this ball club to our to attain our goals this year.
It always helps to have that experience, especially with how successful the inaugural season was last year.
Sure, and you can't teach experience and things like that. What they bring to the field after each year is it's well learned, and and plus they pass that down to our new incoming class.
Let's talk about positions. Let's start off with pitching in general. Obviously, you got a couple of pretty good ones back from last year, kind of led by Allie DeFawcett a bit, huh?
Allie's she's a hard thrower. We clocked her earlier this year, and she's way up there in the numbers, close to 70 mile an hour. So we're expecting a lot of innings out of Allie. And then after her comes Kelly Essner. She's got a dual role for us. Besides playing shortstop, she's probably going to be our number 2 pitcher this year. And Kelly throws a lot of change-ups and all-speed pitches. She hits her corners real well, finesse-type pitchers. So we're looking a lot out, Kelly Essner. And then that third spot right now, we're kind of biding between about four pitchers here. They're all fighting for that spot, and hopefully one of them will step up and take that third spot.
Well, the more depth you have at pitching, the better, and that's kind of what you have. I mean, just looking at your roster, it looks like you have 5 or 6 kids that are capable of pitching for you, which you got to love that.
Absolutely, and the more depth you have, it'll carry you along as the season prolongs, and by the time we get down to regional play, the depth will pay off for us.
How about infield? Let's start off at catcher. Do you have someone back there from last year, and who's going to be kind of backing up and that kind of thing?
This year we have Brandy Mayer back again. She was a workhorse for us last year back there, and we expect a lot of innings out of Brandy this year. And then a backup for us is Stephanie McPherson. Expect a lot from Stephanie to play in that backup role, we think, for this year. And she'll get a lot of playing time. When Brandy, we have a lot of games to play. So between the two of them, we're pretty happy where we're set at catching.
And because of tournaments, there will be some cases where you're playing 3 games in one day. So you definitely need some added help back there.
Absolutely, and the season prolongs, and the temperature starts rising. It takes a wear on the body. So absolutely.
How about third base?
Third base, we have Lauren Dunn back again this year, another sophomore. And, Lauren did a great job for us over there. She's a rock at that third base corner. And, besides, her fielding, she's a great hitter for us, good power. And then, her working, competing for that spot is Marissa Hain from Farmington. Right there, them two are, they're battling it out right now. And, to give a nod right now, I really can't. Right now they're fighting it out for that position.
So kind of be maybe perhaps one of those situations where one may be at third and the other one could be a DH type player?
Oh, absolutely.
That's always nice too when you get some of the local kids that are out there performing like that, and Lauren Dunn being one of them from Herky.
Dunn's been a great, pleasure to have this year, and last year, being a local product. She's a workaholic. She tries real hard. She's always wanting to do her, she's wanting to do her best on the field when she's there.
How about shortstop?
Shortstop, we have a couple there. We have, Kelly Essner. She, like I said, she's got that dual role besides her pitching, and when she's not pitching, she covers a lot of ground at second or shortstop. She's got great range and a strong arm. And besides her, then after that, it's Tori Long, a Northwest product. Good fundamentals, good arm, great range also. So we feel we're pretty sound at shortstop position.
Second base is pretty good as well.
Second base, another sophomore again this year, Amanda Miller. Great range again, good arm, quickness, athletic. She stays low. She's capable of turning a double play at any time. And then we also have Sammy Stringer over there. Sammy was a little bit at shortstop last year, but we moved her over to that middle infield position. And we think between the two of those, we're pretty sound on their middle infield.
How about first base?
First base, we have another sophomore again, Charlene Johnson. Big, tall girl. Sound at first base. She digs the ball out well in the corner there, and she's awful strong when it comes to bunts and things like that. Reacts real quick to the ball. So we're real happy there. And then we have two others. We have 2 other sophomores that it's going to play a role over there also. Sharon Bowers and Shannon Whittemore. So between the 3 of them, we feel we're pretty confident we're putting any other 3 in there at first base.
How about the outfield? That'll be kind of interesting. I guess you're going to have some more young kids really helping out there at times, right?
Yes. This year, we went out. Last year we realized we needed some speed in our outfield, so we went out and recruited a couple newcomers, and they're going to be out there for us. And in left field, we have Nicole Ostertag, new product this year, freshman. Great speed. She can run down, just about anything hit it toward her way. So we're real happy with her. And then also we have Heather Rubel over there with her. So Heather's a sophomore, she's got a little experience. So between the two, we feel confident over at left field.
And the center field spot, how's that looking?
Center field, we have Sandra Bailey, a sophomore back. Great speed. She's a left-handed hitter, covers a lot of ground. And then we got Krista Velasic, Melville product. Feel real strong about it. Another one we think's got great speed. She's going to steal a lot of bases for us. She can also, she can cover some ground out there in that center field. And she's a general. She can take charge out there. So we're real happy at center field base.
And as far as right field goes, do you have good speed there as well?
Right field, we got Maddie Hearn from Hillsboro. And Maddie's actually this year we've been more surprised than any. Her elbows finally healed, so she can throw the ball well. She can throw the ball strong. We look for Maddie to contribute a lot out in right field. And Maddie's quick, so she's going to cover anything over there. And then also we have Edie Farmer out there. Besides Edie pitching, she'll be out there in right field along with Maddie. So we feel again real comfortable putting either one of them out there.
And I guess that's one thing that really is a benefit to your team is the fact that your pitchers also hit very well. The majority of them do. Kelly Essner obviously being one of them. Edie Farmer could be another. Sammy Stringer. I mean, not only do they do a good job on the mound, but they can swing the bats too. Absolutely.
And at this stage of the game, at the college level, they have to do more than one role, at the junior level. And so, with being more well-rounded player like that, it gets them in the game more, And we tell our girls that, it's not only your glove, it's your bat that's going to get you in our lineup.
How about co-captains? Have you picked captains yet this year?
We have, the team picked the captains this year, and so we've got a few. We have Nicole Ostertag, she's a newcomer, freshman, and she's a captain along with Kelly Essner. And we also have, Sammy Stringer's another one, and we also have Brandy Mayer and Jenna Walters. That's our captains for this year.
And as voted on by the team for the most part,
That's
right?
correct.
Yeah. Well, that's the way to get it done, obviously. And you got a good group there of younger kids, a couple of freshmen, and of course some veterans that have been around now for going into their second year.
And we talked about that on that mix. We didn't want to be an all sophomore laden, captain team, and we wanted a little mix so the sophomores can help the freshmen, the freshmen can help the sophomores out. And we think between that, the mixture of that, they'll be well represented, to represent our team.
How's the field looking? I know you haven't been able to do much down there because of how cold it's been, but is the field in pretty good shape considering?
Actually, we thought it'd be a little hard and muddy, but it's pretty good surface. We're taking infield right now on there, and so we're real happy with it. Grass is looking pretty good. Overall the field is in good shape. Brand new field out there like it is, so it's in top shape.
Yeah, you shouldn't have too many problems here in the early going anyway, right?
We got a little bit with the warning track. We're taking care of some issues with that, but besides that, we're in good shape out there.
That's good. That's good. You won't be playing your home games officially until the 3rd of March, but you get it started. And actually, it's just going to be about 2 weeks away now. Is down in Springfield.
Yeah, we play next Friday. Actually, we play there. We play Bacone's our first game, 9 a.m. It's actually a 4-year college, and that's a big tournament down there. That's the Evangel Leadoff Classic, so we're real happy with that. And so hopefully the weather's nice like this weekend, and we'll be able to go down there and play.
Yeah, I guess unfortunately it didn't help you last year. You get that one actually got, I guess you would say, weather-related, taken off, postponed, if you will, due to weather. I guess it got really cold that weekend.
Yeah, it did, and I think they had trouble getting the fields ready and prepped. So hopefully, with this kind of weather we're having right now, it'll guide them for next week, and if weather's hopefully providing next week, we'll be able to play.
You'll play 4 games there on the schedule over the 2 days, so obviously a very, very good tune-up and a big situation as far as finding out what kind of depth you're going to have and who's some of those questions that you have going into a season as far as who's going to play where, who's going to start over the other. Some of those will get answered maybe that weekend.
Absolutely, and right now we're looking at every position in every corner and even in the outfield. And this will give us an idea next year where we kind of stand next week when we get over there and start playing. That how well we are setting, and if we are where we think we should be. So it'll be a good test for us.
Tell us a little bit about your assistant coaches this year. You have a couple of ladies that actually played in the area at the local high schools, and of course one of them you know very, very well because it's your daughter, Brandy, and Erin Dittman is out of St. Pius. So the two of them have a lot of good knowledge of the sport and really in general of softball in this area.
I think so. With Erin, she brings a lot of knowledge with conditioning and things like that. She's really good with cardio and working with our girls and getting them in shape. And right now we're going 2 days a week in the morning swimming and working real hard at 6 a.m. So, and she comes in for that, and then besides practicing in the evening. So, we ask a lot out of our coaches, and she's one of the steps up and does a good job for us. And like you said, the other one's my daughter, Brandy. Brought her on board this year. She's a grad assistant. She's getting ready to finish her schooling here in May. And she was, I think, was very successful in high school as a pitcher. And she's a pretty good mentor toward our ladies right now with their pitching. She's kind of found some things that I didn't recognize, and she's kind of helping them with the pitching part aspect. And that's going to be her role this year with us. Besides working a little bit at first base, she'll be helping mostly with our pitching staff.
So that's all going to work out just fine. And who's going to be their first base coach this year? Is it going to be Brandy or is it going to be Erin?
Actually, with their schedule, the way it's set up this year, we're going to probably split it off. We're probably it'll be a dual role this year because with conflicts of their teaching schedules, we're going to split that this year.
I guess at times it could be kind of tough because with them being, still in schooling and that kind of thing, it kind of, you know, they kind of have to work around some schedules and things like that. And there might be some games on the road where you may have to use one of your players maybe over there.
Well, the way we worked it out this year is, you know, with Aaron teaching at Hillsborough and now Brandy's at Peevely Primary, you know, between the two of them, they've arranged their schedules where they're going to make every game, one or the other. So, you know, we'll have a coach over there. We won't have a player over there.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Well, that's nice you're able to work that out.
Yes.
Yeah. That's gonna help a lot. Any concerns going into this season? Do you have anything that's kind of bothering you right now as far as what you've seen from some of the players?
You know, as far as, you know, playing time and ability, no, you know, we're happy with the program is right now. Touch of the flu bug's kind of hitting us. You know, we're battling through that. You know, a couple nicks and you know, injuries here and there. But if we can get over that injury bug and get everybody healthy, you know, we feel pretty good about this year.
Nothing long term as far as injuries go.
No, it's just, you know, some spraying ankles and things like that. We've been battling pretty hard in this gym for about the last month, so it wears on the body on this whole hardwood floor. So we're happy to be outside. Maybe we can eliminate some of these injuries.
Yeah, you don't have to, at least for right now, today anyway, you don't have to worry about taking infield on the gym floor, right?
You're right.
Coach, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Best of luck to you this year, and good luck in that opening weekend on the 16th and 17th.
Well, thank you.
Tony Cook, he is the interim head coach of the Jefferson College women's softball team. They are, of course, were national tournament representatives last year in their first season. They're hoping to do it again this year as well. As Coach Cook joins us here on the Jefferson College Sports Report.